Suicide Squad issue 10, Tom Taylor writing, Bruno Redondo on the art. So obviously we had the big ending last issue with Deathstroke. No, not Deathstroke, sorry. Deadshot.
And this is the penultimate issue as well.
That's right, yeah, sure, was the last one. It does kind of feel like it, though, to be fair.
It does, but it feels weird remembering 11's the last one. Like, it's just such a weird number to end on.
It does feel like it's kind of like, you know, wrapping up to its big ending. Explosive, one might say, but it literally ends with the explosion just seemingly about to happen.
Yep.
It starts with them catching Deadshot, you know, Aerie flies up, and they're, you know, shocked and hurt, and Harley is really pissed and says, you know, go get the bastard who did this. She puts on a Deadshot mask at one point out of honor for him, which I thought was kind of oddly sweet from Harley.
It's a very Harley thing to do, right?
But they're grabbing Ted, and he's like, it's not me. It's just, you know, it's Roman Sionis, it's Black Mask.
It's never been me.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, how do we deal with this? And we actually have a really fun sequence where they fly after. A couple of them do anyway. Aerie and Wink, thank you. I'm starting to get there.
Oh yeah, it's only taken till the second to last issue.
Yeah. There's a lot of new characters. Hey, these characters are definitely coming back in some form. They're just going to be Suicide Squad.
But barring them all somehow dying in the last issue, yes, I agree.
But, you know, they're looking for Lola, this character from the past, from Ares' past, who is going to be used as this bomb. And Black Mask disguises himself as her on the plane, because that's kind of, you know, what we've been establishing, is that he can straight up do this now. And tricks Wink first of all. And honestly, it looks like, you know, the gunshot might have went off. Turns out they're okay, but we have this standoff, and Black Mask gets hit really hard. And they bring him back to you know.
Yeah, he pretends to be Wink, and then Aerie shows up. It's like, nah, Wink's like half a foot shorter than that, and just whacks him with the wing.
Yeah, so they go to see, you know, the president, the mother, and the secret hiding location, and say, okay, we have to evacuate the country, we have to do this. And what was funny is that Ted's like, hey, let me call in my friends, they can help. And they don't really believe him. And then it's Finn who kind of, like, you know, reads his mind and says, oh, I think we can trust him. He's Blue Beetle.
He's like, and he doesn't say that to everyone else, I don't think. Because they're still questioning.
Yes,
like, wait,
yes.
I think he says, oh, he has another uniform just like us. Is I think the dialogue. And
the joke here, of course, is that Harley jumps to, are you Batman? And he's like, don't be ridiculous. You think a billionaire would spend his time fighting crime in Gotham? She's like, yeah, you'd have to be effing nuts to do that if you were a billionaire. That was amusing. I did enjoy Black Mask sort of like taking the face of all the various members of the team that he's killed.
Just taunting them.
Yeah, and then Osita slaps his mask off, and it's like, wait, that was disgusting. And we have this really awkward, like, dark humor moment of like, I didn't realize it was glued to his face. And Harley's like, yeah, it kind of got burned onto it. So you even get to see, you just kind of imagine like some of his face kind of ripped off with it. And it's just this nasty thing.
Do you know what it looks like? The visual of it is very much what they did in the Deadpool movie. Kind of like, you know, like what his face looks like, you know, whether they show it on the side. That's kind of the visual of it here.
Oh, you see that later. You don't see that at the start, though, when they first put it off. That's not until the very end where you see his actual face. Osita's like, well, if we're all going to die in this explosion, you're going to die with us. So, yeah, basically, Zebra Man's...
Sorry, why did you just say it like that?
Because that's what Matt says. I don't know.
That was really weird hearing you say that.
I know, I say zebra, but... It's because every time I've heard someone say Zebra Man, they say it the American way. So sometimes I just have brain farts where I'll say things other ways I've heard them. It's just...
Do you want me to say Zebra Man a few times so that you can just hear it?
Nah, that's fine. That said, though, there's still some things I say that you would think is the incorrect way that I've said my whole life. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what? I want to know. Give an example.
I don't say Shire, I say Shire at the end of all the districts in the UK. And so do multiple people I know, for the record.
That's
just... This is not just a me thing. This is multiple people I know.
That's so bizarre and like fundamentally just wrong. Unless you're referring to, of course, the Shire from Middle Earth, in which case I will allow it. But knowing you, I strongly suspect you are not.
No, I'm definitely not. Anyway, the point is, the point is the Zebraman's containing the blast, right? The bubble, the shock wave is being held.
He's trying to anyway.
Aye, well, that's the thing. That's the cliffhanger, of course, is him saying he can't hold it anymore and it's about to go. But
yeah.
he's holding it off for at least for a couple of minutes. Enough that Harley kind of like apologizes for making fun of his looking name. And then he admits that he did kind of pick it. He just likes zebras.
the majestic animals. Which basically was like, oh yeah, he's dead. That's what that moment was for me.
Yeah. It's odd. Hey, it very likely is. I mean, they may be dead. We'll see.
I think he's the most expendable of all of them. That in the sense that I don't think anyone really cares about Zebraman.
I mean, I think DC would let Tom Taylor kill Zebraman if they want to.
Seemingly let him kill Deadshot. So I don't think there's any other restrictions left on the table except maybe Harley.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure he had to get that cleared. I was like, he'd have to clear Zebraman. I think the editor would see it in the script.
I think it would be a very quick approval process.
No,
yeah.
The editor would see it in the script and just go, yeah, sure. Just shrug and not even mention it. I don't think the editor would even try and question it. Yeah. So, no, it's an enjoyable issue. A lot of the big beats, the slapping of the mask off, the telepath stuff with Ted was fun. Black Mask being a proper dick, solid stuff. And everything feeling like it matters from the rest of the run. And obviously Harley honoring Deadshot's sort of, honor and demise.
Yeah. And there's some really nice lettering moments that I kind of want to point out. They're kind of along the same lines. I think that I really appreciate just being a bit dynamic. The final page is a good example where Zebraman's, he's shouting, I can't hold it. And he's clearly shouting, the bubble's all spiky instead of round. The font's kind of big and stretched out. It's at different angles. I really like that. And there was a similar moment, it was earlier with Harley being, oh, you're not Batman, are you? And this, everything was firing all cylinders in that panel, because the background kind of cuts away. It becomes the big yellow pop idea, kind of light bulb kind of thing in the background. It has the spiky panel for the shock value of it for her. Yeah, I just think, just some really good things to give it this extra impact that easy to overlook, but I do think it really has an effect that that maybe you don't think about it when you're reading it, but it is working really well.
Yeah, no, it's a really solid issue. I almost have very little to say about it, just because we've been praising this book since issue 1, and there's almost nothing new to praise in a weird way. It's just kind of, yes, it's as excellent as it's been.
It's more of the same, and when I give it a 9 out of 10, which I'm probably going to do, it's not really a surprise, because I've given multiple issues of this book a 9, and it's just all right. This is what I expect from this book. Now below that, and I'm surprised.
I'd probably go with an 8.5 on this one, and it's not because it's still obviously fantastic. But there's definitely other standout issues that have just stood out that much more. So I think this is the 8.5, and the 8.5 has kind of been the baseline. I don't know if I've went below an 8.5 this entire series.
I think I maybe only gone that low as well. And I think for me is little things like those lettering effects. There's a few different ones as well scattered throughout that I really liked, that are kind of bumping it up to the 9. Just from the craft perspective, because I still enjoyed it just as much as all the other issues. But while I agree, the story doesn't pop quite as much as some of the others, doesn't have quite the impact, but I think just the sheer craft of it kind of drags it up a little bit extra, like an extra half a point.
Yeah, so there you go. That is Suicide Squad.